This is Just Amazon on Wednesday, January 30th, 2019. And we've got a move a little bit higher pre-market here. Uh, I sort of expected this level 16, 17 to hold as a resistance, looking at where it got back up to after hours yesterday. And how strong this support has been, and then it just completely broke down yesterday. But today, it's it's actually pretty much staying above it. I mean, it came down right in here and bounced nicely, and getting right up into the open. I mean, anything could happen. It could just flash down. It could sell off, or if it stays above this level, it could just continue moving up like it's done after hours and pre-market today. So the let's get into the day and see how things played out. Right away, it's moving up. So a little wick down and doesn't even come back down to 16, 17, 54. It just stays up here. Already with one candle, we're taking out so much of, this place of opening is taking out all the bears from yesterday. And then it only is not above one candle from yesterday, I think, right? The high here, 1632.38. The high here, 1632.17. So almost taking out yesterday's high in the first 5-minute candle. That's really strong. Oh, wait a sec. Did that? Oh, I'm looking at the next candle. Somehow I'm seeing a little bit further to the right. So the next candle's high is 1641.26, and it just moves up. So we've completely taken out, in this candle, we've completely taken out yesterday's high. We're right back up to this rollover point from after hours and pre-market from Monday to Tuesday. And it's just looking really, really strong, really high volume. Even the second candle of volume is as strong as the open 5-minute from yesterday. And, the 5-minute from 2 days ago, which was selling, we're right back up above that volume to open up today. So really strong bullish volume. Now, again, this line is not accurately in this location. On the daily, it's actually sitting a little bit lower. So ignore this, as annoying as it is to have it on here. I want to have it on for the daily. It just doesn't represent things well in the 5-minute. So we continue moving forward, and we get a little bit of a stair step here, a little bit of a pullback. Even this level, it's pulling back into yesterday's high, which is fine for it to retest there. It's getting into some of the wicks up in here. It's kind of getting close to that. And we can see, okay, will it come back down maybe to the 21? What's a good buying opportunity? Obviously, a lot of people did not get in way down here. So it's like, okay, looking for a place to buy because this is moving up. You're trapping everybody who shorted yesterday. Those stops got hit today if they were looking for it to roll over today and just are getting out. If they had a stop, if they're just watching this move and getting out, it's helping to add to the bullish move. So a little bit, pull back a little bit lower, almost to 1630. And, looking at where the line goes across the screen here, just seeing some of those wicks actually getting hit. So these could be other smaller pivots that I don't have another line for. But this would be a good place to start thinking about, okay, is this the place to buy? Have we pulled back enough? We're pulling back just about into this low. Let's see, 1630 on the dot, and then this low is 1630.51. So 51 cents away from this low. The open and, no, I'm sorry, the low is 1630, the open is 1630.38. So not a shaved bottom, but pretty close. And next candle, another candle that's got kind of a lower shadow here, sort of like a hammer, just not as long of a wick as we need to see for a real hammer. But this is a great place to get a setup where you're going to go bullish above it and a stop below it. And it's about $6 or so on the stock, and then the options, we can take a look and see, what's the setup you could have used at 9:10, 9:15. So we can come back to that. And here we go, breaking out, moving up, comes right back up into this level, throws in an indecision candle, then that breaks in the very next candle. That's really strong. A a small stair step in here, breaks out. Again, ignore this line. Dance around up here a little bit, another little flag. Now this pullback's nice. We come a little bit closer to the 21. Some really small candles, and now we're starting to move up again. So this is actually a retest of these highs. And so just watching the candles during the day, looking for a place to get in. I mean, the stair step here was on top of these wicks. This pullback was right on top of these wicks. You know, this is the range to look to buy. Waiting for it. I mean, you could have gotten in here, or you could have waited for it to do it here. But buying here was too late. You missed your chance to get in down here, anywhere up in here. This was not the place to be buying. But it became the place to buy as it retested, slowed down here, and then again retested to that same level up here. So with this kind of move today, it's a bullish gap. It's not clearing all of the it's not clearing all of yesterday's candle, but on the hourly and some smaller time frames, it is clearing. So this is definitely a bullish gap and go. And it still has retests, you know, and you see it a lot on the bullish candles. So, you know, we continue to move up. Any of these pullbacks are great places, you know, or consolidations here, sideways, small down here, sideways, small in here. We'll see if this one touches the 21. There it goes, touches the 21. We're almost back down to this level. So this is one that you'd probably want to have a setup, you know, on a having a buy on the 21 or down here. Maybe you just don't get filled on this one. We'll see if it pulls back anymore. And nothing yet. Got a squeeze forming, and that's really cool. So squeeze formed. It broke out huge. Oh, this is right at 1 o'clock. So today had, I think, Fed minutes at 1 o'clock on a Wednesday. So this is the market and Amazon reacting to that news. Broke out, retested the highs through here. And had you not wanted to trade over the 1 o'clock hour on a Wednesday, you know, that's something that's usually a good time to avoid having a trade on and waiting for after. You know, it did retest to a good level here very quickly, but I mean, that's how the market's reacting, and then continues higher. So now here we are back up at 1665.27. We actually pushed through that. This would have been a great risk reward right here, buying that level. But this small move being earnings week, I don't know how that actually would have played out. So this is at 105. So we're at 915, right? 915, 105. Those are a couple times. We can come back and look at the calls. So we actually broke out, and then we've come back, and we're holding this from above. We've retested, and we're holding this level above it, above 1665.27. And that's how that played out. After hours then, we've continued to move up a little bit more. We'll see if we get a continuation tomorrow and on Thursday. And then Thursday after hours will be earnings. So we'll see what that does to how this is moving. And it could catapult it higher, you know, have it continue to go bullish. But all of this, like I've been saying, really reminds me of all this through here. Even today's candle, this kind of a bullish gap and go, very similar to this right here. If you kind of squeeze these two candles together, you get a bullish gap and go that has a large move off the 21, trapping anybody who was shorting on this candle. Now this one had a lot of selling, and then it got bought back up the same day. This one just had a lot of flat out selling and not any real buying back up that day. And so you're trapping more people who were triggered and bearish on this candle. Remember I said yesterday, it actually closed below this line, looking like it's closing below a neckline here. So a lot of people were trying to go bearish right here, confirmed all of that. And here we are today, trapping all of them. We've not only trapped just this candle, we've trapped this one. We're back up to this same level, which is the point where we got up to from this rally. And, you know, we're at this decision point. Which way do we go from here? Do we continue bullish where we paused last time? Do we pull back a little bit and wait for earnings tomorrow? You know, what's going to happen right here? And we got above this here a little bit and pulled right back down. We barely got above it here. The last time we've tried to get above this level was here, and it pulled back down. And here it pulled back down. this has been a really key level. And even more, I'm seeing this as, a bigger inverted head and shoulders sort of thing, with a neckline up in this range. But you can still really see that we've had a lot of battles right in this area here, where this has been a really clear level that we just keep coming back to, and have had trouble staying above it ever since this downtrend has started. So this is a key place for it to get above and then come back and retest and stay above, similar to this kind of thing. So if we can move up, get above this kind of neckline here, come back down and retest this from above, or retest this level from above, then I think we're off to the races and have this kind of move ahead of us, this sort of thing, where we could really move. Let's see, what is this? So let's say we're here. So 1835, let's say we make another move like this one. So we add 215 points from this point right here. So 215 points puts us up to 1885, somewhere in there. So that'd be right up here. That totally makes sense to have a run up like that. I don't know how long that'd take. Earnings could get us there on Friday. But that's a great level. 1885 is a great level to get back up to here and see how, we're going to pause and rest and, do some sort of consolidation, pull back, and then see if we can, pull back to, low 1800s, maybe back down to 1750, and then go from there. So what I'm picturing, let's see if I can draw it. So this kind of, that didn't draw. Format, white. Oh, it did draw. I just didn't see it. Like this kind of thing, like this. Pull back, and then see what happens next. And then let me see if I can move that. Select. I move that over here. Yeah, so I'm talking about a move like this, where it continues up to, well, that's further than I, let's see, it was there. 215. This is up at 19 something. So I'm just trying to figure out why it got that much higher. But anyway, something like this. I think I drew something like this the other day. This shows a retest back to this neckline, continuation, similar range of a move that this one made here, could happen again here, and then a bit of a pullback that comes right back into that same level. That would be this repeating, and it by no means has to do it. How do I get rid of that? Turn off annotation. Clear all. There we go. Okay, now that's gone. All right, so switching back into the 5 minute, let's look at calls at 9:10 to 9:15. So right in here, I mean, getting a trade set up 9 by 8 based on these candles looking like they're reversing. I don't know if that would have filled. The low here is 905. So if you had a 9 by 8, that may not have filled. But that's one of those trades that you could just let it just kind of ride all day, and had a very large move here. This is the 1750 calls, which is way out of the money, but it gives us a really nice risk to reward. If we even come back to the 1700 calls expiring Friday, we've got just a little larger range. 80 cent, 90 cent, 80 cent range, but what's your actual setup going to be? 21 by 20 maybe? 21 by 19? It just gets a little harder to have that $100 risk, so that's why I'm all the way out at 1750. Even looking at 1725, yeah, much lower volume. I don't even like looking at these because it's just so scattered. It's just a few contracts, each 5 minute candle, one here, 3 here, 1 here, 2 here. It's just, there's not enough volume to, allow it to have a nice tight risk reward, and your bid and ask are so wide anyway. So that's why I really like something that's closer to 1,000 and something that's a little further away, even though it is Wednesday, there's normally not enough premium here for this kind of stuff, but it's earnings week. So that's why I did want to, so I had the chart ready to show this. This was just a really nice contrast. This sell-off yesterday on the calls, and then we kind of had this, kind of just a little bit choppy, a little bit uptrend, and then massive move. And then the puts yesterday had that kind of chop and a big move, and then a lot of chop after. And today just had that complete slope down sell-off on the put. So it just kind of, the 2 days completely reversed because the 2 days completely reversed. So, just looking at how this kind of stuff moves, recognizing, anybody who is looking at the calls yesterday, there's nothing going on, they're just selling off, you're losing money, don't get into calls. Puts, oh, those are ones that it consolidated nicely, it broke out, this was the move to get it in on. But today with the calls, you could have gotten in here and moved up, pulled back, could have gotten in here, moved up, and pulled back, could have gotten in here, moved up. There were more opportunities on the calls on the way up. Not trying to call a top, not trying to chase, waiting for a pullback, waiting for a nice setup, and a lot of opportunities. Each one of these, let's see, we said 910, 915, that was in here. The other one was 105. So this one, we had that big move and then very small pullback. So it pulled back a much larger 5-minute candle on the option. I'm sorry, on the stock, but not the option. This, we would have liked to see a retest back down into 12, probably 1150 to get back into these prices, and it held above 12. So that's one with the 1750 calls probably would have missed. So the trade really to be in would have been this one here and getting out before the Fed announcement, and that would have been going from 9 up to 11. That would have been just 2R. And that's still good. It's just, with this kind of move, the kind of move it made between those times from here up to here, you would have thought that would be more than just 2R. But again, it's earnings and there's a Fed announcement. So, there's a number of different things that contribute to just a slow rise in the call price. So anyway, that was today. That's how things moved. There's nothing really going on puts. The other thing, this level here, the opening candle on the calls, it totally retested back to this, the last kind of area that was pretty flat through here. Not that somebody would have been looking to buy that, but for it to open up above and pull back, it's a great place for it to pull back to. Somebody could have been setting it up, saying, hey, yesterday it totally consolidated for like hours, for like 5 hours around the $7, $8 range. What if it gets back in there today? At open, 8 by 7, go, done, profit, So just with this kind of move, pulling back into what the option price was all through middle of the day here for the calls. So pretty cool just to see how some of these levels work on the options compared to where the stock price is at and the levels that are going on. So here, so this is the price on that downtrend channel. It's showing up at like 1645, but we look at it over here and it's not even in sight. So that's how much I just want you to ignore this line. We were inside of it yesterday. We're clearly above it today, just like back here. And yeah, to me, I think we're bullish. I think earnings are going to set us up for more of a bullish move. We're going to trap some more bears up in here and finally get some movement higher and really confidently break out of this downtrend. I think we'll come back and retest kind of what I laid out with that white line. But my gut says it's going to go higher. I could be completely wrong, and we have another bullish day tomorrow that moves up a little bit, and then earnings gap us down back into this, and then we have our framework. So, I'm not going to trade it over earnings. I'm not going to have something on, but, we'll be watching the 5-minute on Friday to see if there's anything setting up with a really nice risk to reward on expiration. Now, a lot of premium has got to get sucked out. So you got to be really, really careful. Waiting for some of those absolute zeros is also really difficult. Sometimes you can get something in the last hour, but you got to be on top of it. Look for some of those smaller gains. Get in for under $1, get out for 2, maybe 3, because the premium is just going to get sucked out so fast from all of this, from all the options. So we'll talk about that a little bit more tomorrow, because we should have a good, clear direction after hours. And by the time I'm doing the video, to know kind of what we're going to be looking for on the next day. So hang tight for tomorrow. If there's something setting up, we're at a good level that on the 5 minute, we could pull back down here, and bounce again. We could continue to run up and get a little closer to like 1700. And if it does that, it could just keep on moving. I mean, this is really steep, but if more of the market is going this way and there's some pricing getting baked in ahead of earnings, it shouldn't slow down until earnings. It should continue this way. Don't try and call this as a top. People who are shorting here at 1665.54 because it was 1665.27. Shorting it up here because that's what they did here. I mean, they were wrong, and they got sucked out, and it just helped it move a little bit higher today. So I'm taking the 54 cents from this price. 1617.54 and 1665.27. Those have been some good levels for us. Definitely in here with this being in between 2 no man's lands. It's been a really clear pivot. So we'll see how that plays out. If it comes into play tomorrow, if we stay above it, like we were doing here, and then what we're going to do for earnings. So hope you enjoyed this video. This is Just Amazon.